Hey everybody, it's Berg back at you with some more belt talk, and today feast your eyes on this beauty right here, the NWA Television Championship title belt, or should I say the World's Television Championship title belt. That's right, this belt, made by Pinfall Title Belts, is made to replicate the original belt that was handed to Dusty Rhodes from David Crockett in April of 1985 when the NWA changed the name of this title to the World's Television Championship title belt. So without any further ado, I want to take a good hard look at this belt, show you guys exactly what you're going to get when you order from Pinfall Title Belts. Okay, everybody, let's take a good close look at this belt right here. Again, this belt is made by Pinfall Title Belts, Raheel Ahmad, and he's got a group on Facebook that you can join called Pinfall Title Belts where you can see his work. And this, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, guys, this is a beautiful belt. He did a wonderful job on this. Now, I'm going to give you a good, honest review of this belt. We're going to hit the highs and we're going to hit the lows. But let's get started here right away with the main plate. And we can see these plates are 4.2 millimeter thick acid etched plates. And as you can see, we've got a nice curve on this main plate. And if we take a look at the artwork and the etching, much like the other belts I own from Pinfall Title Belts, this is a home run. Just outstanding quality, great etching, good clean paint work. Everything just looks fantastic on this belt, or on this main plate, that is. So what we're seeing here is the, what I will say is the original television championship, the World Television Championship that was handed to Dusty Rhodes back in April of 1985 from David Crockett when they announced that they would begin calling the TV title the World's Television title. That belt, if you remember seeing it on TV or if you go back and look, had this kind of oxblood colored red strap. So it's not like this bright red strap that you see from a lot of other makers. And then one of the unique characteristics is these black snap boxes that were on this belt. So the strap had XO tooling. It had NWA embossed into the snap boxes on both sides. And it wasn't that bright red. It was this oxblood colored red. In fact, after a few months of use, it started to look black. There's a few videos online I found of Arn Anderson with this belt. And the belt almost looks black because of just the baby oil and the sweat and the blood that these guys got all over it. But I'm telling you, this belt blows me away. So look at the artwork here, the good clean etching that we have. You can see just amazing depth in the etching. A good separation between the back of the belt plate and areas like these banners and the TV cameras. I love that they've got the old studio TV cameras on this belt. The eagle. And I mean, if you can see just the depth in detail in this globe here. You've got your continents, your latitude, longitude lines, and it's just so cleanly etched. And like I said, the eagle. So if you had any guesses right off the bat who the designer of this belt was, you would be correct if you guessed that it was the king of belts himself, Reggie Parks. And the shape of this belt is very reminiscent of several other title belts, mainly the Hogan 85 and 84. And then a plethora of other belts that were modeled after this design. We've got your network logo plates. And again, try to capture some of the wonderful etching that was done by Pinfall Title Belts. It's hard to see, but if I tip the plates up, you can see, number one, we've got 4.2 millimeter thickness on these plates. But when we come in, you can see just how deep these stars are recessed in. You can see in the logo here, the NBC Peacock, how deep the etching actually is. Same with this ABC logo. We'll go to the other side here. Take a look. We've got our satellite dish. And again, try to capture just the depth of the etching. And our CBS plate. I've seen other makers who don't do that good of a job with this belt, adding a logo or a property plate between the CBS plate and the snap box. That was not on the original belt. So this belt I thought would be really great to get in its original form. So the color scheme, the fact that we don't have a logo plate, we don't have a belt tip. This belt is all original as to how it debuted back in April of '85 with Dusty. We'll take a look here at that XO tooling. And that just follows the entire length of the belt, or the length of the strap here. I'll flip the belt over so you can see our backing. We've just got a plain black backing on this belt. Now, if we want to get critical about some of the things on this belt, and these are, I'm going to just shooting from the hip here, guys. This is very, very minor stuff. We'll tip the belt up a little bit here. So on the edges of the belt, you can see that the strap and the backing have not been sealed, right? But what we also see is, like, for instance, on the female snap box side, you see just a little bit of excess backer peeking up there. So just the cut on the backer on this side of the belt could have been done a little more meticulously, a little more carefully to make it nice and flush. Other thing that I noticed, and I have to find it again because, yeah, it's right here. There's just a little bit of glue that had seeped through between the backer and the strap. So just a little bit of glue leaked out there. Something that can easily be cleaned up. But that's how the belt came to me. There was one other spot on here. I believe it's on the strap on this side. Yeah, there it is, right next to the strap box. Looks like we've got a little piece of debris, fuzz or something that got caught up in the strap as it was being colored. So, I mean, very, very, very minor flaws, in my opinion, especially when we compare that to kind of the main event, right? And the main event is these plates. Look at the etching on these plates. Again, the very neat paint job. Everything is clean. So well done. Guys, this is my third belt from Pinfall Title Belts. If you go back in my archives, you'll see that I reviewed a WWF Winged Eagle. You'll see that I reviewed a WWF Classic IC. And those belts are just impeccable, the same as this belt is. And I'm so impressed. The time it takes for Raheel to create these belts is on par with other makers. You're looking at, if he's got to make a belt from scratch, you're looking at maybe, a month and a half, up to 2 months before it's ready to ship. So, I mean, he's certainly not, he's not messing around. He's doing good work. He's doing timely work. And look at what he's delivering. Guys, check out Pinfall Title Belts. You're not going to be disappointed. Like I said, I've got 3 belts there from there, and all of them are absolute stunners. So this style, or this version of the NWA, or the World's Television Championship belt, it debuted in April of '85, given to Dusty Rhodes by David Crockett. They would use this style, meaning the nickel plate with the red paint, this version of the plates. This was used up until 1992. In fact, you saw different iterations of this belt where it was on a black strap, it was on the red strap, and then I want to say it was in January of 1991, the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions began to, negotiate a separation. And so this then became known in January of 91. This specific belt, even though it was an NWA belt, was being referred to as the WCW Television Championship. And they used this style belt up through the 91 year. And then it was, replaced, when they discontinued using it, they replaced it and they used several other iterations. They used a tag belt. Steve Austin notoriously had that weird six-man version, that weird six-man tag version that he carried around. And that they did that up until 92. And in 1992 is when we saw the debut of this version of the television championship title belt. Now, this was debuted by Stunning Steve Austin. I believe it was August of 1992. I loved this iteration of the television championship title belt because what it did is it kept that nickel finish, it kept the red banners, and it very much carried over the heritage or the lineage of the old NWA belt. I thought it was just an awesome iteration. And they also had a gold version of this that they used. So they discontinued the nickel, replaced that with a gold version of this same style belt. And then in, I think it was August or July of 1995, Bash at the Beach, Arn Anderson would debut this version of the WCW Television Championship title belt. And now I'm torn because if you ask me, it's like asking which one of your kids is your favorite between this version, or this version. I don't know how you can pick a favorite because they're all just beautiful belts. This version here, the gold version, was used all the way up until 2001 when WCW went out of business. So really cool history of the television championship title belt, but it starts when Dusty Rhodes is handed this version in April of '85, the world's television championship wrestling title belt. Amazing history on this belt. This belt, made by Pinfall Title Belts, just a beautiful reproduction. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I am Berg, and we'll see you again for some more belt talk soon.